believe are crucial to successful marriage?
Communication is a biggie. It's a biggie. It's very big because I think that men and women don't speak the same. You know, husband and wife don't speak the same. Problem with communication is that many of us grew up different ways, and somewhere somehow we bring that into the room, into the marriage, and that distorts communication. There is no clarity in communication. And I think that communication has to be clear. And sometimes it's not clear. There's so many assumptions within the communication. You can't leave room for assumption. And that assumption sometimes the person could bear it for a while, and after a while they snap. And at that point, it's too late to recover. And I think that communication, to be real, involves trust, that we're able to say everything. Somebody once said, say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean.
Okay.
And I think that it has to be clear. When you're communicating also, you are not communicating just with the words you are saying, all right? Your posture, the way you squeeze your face, don't squeeze your face. All of that is communication. So if you want to talk to me right now and you say, okay, all right, Pastor, I'm going to talk to you. And I say, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, I told you I'm listening, but my demeanor is not showing you that I'm ready to hear what you have to say.
That's true.
So communication is a whole package, And then the other part that affects communication is that people want to communicate with people the way they like to be communicated with. And sometimes that is wrong. Like if you have to communicate with that person the way the person likes to be communicated with, some people don't like you to yell at them. If you like to yell and you listen or you do well by yelling and you're yelling at that person, that's not an effective communication.
Really enjoying this conversation. The way people communicate. Sometimes the couple will say, that is just the way I talk.
Yeah.
That is the way I talk. I don't know how else you want me to say it. This is just the way I sound when I want to express my feelings. And if I don't express it out, then it's going to bottle up inside of me. That's why I have to communicate it the way you will understand. Because if I'm calm, if I'm just cool and collected, you won't understand that this has been an issue in this relationship.
And just to add to that, like for example, so I remember those days my wife would say, why are you yelling? I'm not yelling. Why are you? I'm not yelling, Then I start realizing that she said, why are you fighting? I'm not fighting anybody, and you get to a point where you just have to stop and listen to your partner, regardless of what you feel. That is what they are receiving. Okay, because communication involves, the speaking and the receiving.
That's right.
Now, if that's what they are receiving, I don't care what you say you are saying or not saying. If that's what they are receiving, you have to now sit down and say, what can I do differently? And that's what I had to do. I had to sit down and say, wait a minute, I know I'm not yelling. I didn't plan to yell, but she's receiving that I'm yelling. So therefore, what can I do differently? So now I like, Vuz Rabba, like, okay, now what I'm trying to say. So in marriage, we have to communicate with the person the way the person we hear, and sometimes, most times we don't do that because in the heat of whatever, we just do what we know how to do. And sometimes that adds fuel to the situation.